Hello YouTubers, Troz here, back with some more Factorio Megabase. Last time we did the initial testing of the 1K science production and ran into quite a few numbers of problems. I believe I have most of them fixed at this point. I think today we'll test to see if that's actually the case. Let's show some of what I've done in the meantime between episodes. So we have a new copper production or smelting facility. I believe I said I was going to add that last time. This is actually very close. This is my main base area. So that's hooked up. And down here I have a new copper field mine, and I actually, most of the way there, this whole stretch is now full 2-lane of track. I had a few passing areas before, but we're gonna get a lot more trains here. Well, not a lot more trains, but a few more trains here, and I felt that having several sections of just track that worked in two ways with having trains wait, it was just gonna back up. I also extended it out here and have an additional 2 more copper patches. Actually, 2 more here. They're actually named the same because these are smaller, like 17 and 15, where this is like almost 60 million. And all these copper patches are being used by this new copper smelter. Actually, in the 1K science, everything is hooked up now. I was doing that at the end of last episode. Everything appears to be working. We got science backed up. But because it's backed up, when we first start out, everything's going to run really super fast, so it's going to be a little hard to tell exactly how much science we're producing. Something else I found, that second green circuit production I set up, I never actually started the trains on it. So we have a bunch of trains here waiting to pick up circuits that aren't ever coming. So let's enable those now. Of course, we're saving. I should really reduce how often that is. I thought it was every 5 minutes, but I don't think it's been that long, and I had one happen just before starting to record. So these are on their way. In the meantime, while they're going, I kind of did a little fun project. At least I did it for fun. So we're using 1.7 gigawatts. Now that's going to go up when those trains start picking up stuff. In fact, that might have been one of the smelters kicking on, although I would think they'd use more power than just that. But let's actually oh yeah, we got a train over here picking up. Alright, they're just kicking on now, and one of the trains is probably iron up here. Yes, we have some kicking on now. There. I thought it would have used more than that. But really, that's a lot of power for sitting just idle. So I implemented a little circuit here. So if I come here and I grab this iron axe out of this buffer chest, that's the only iron axe in the whole logistics network. And you can now see power is more than cut in half. So if I look at like this copper smelter, the new one, hey look, they're all need power. And how about no, this is where the one train was loading up. It all needs power. And over here, they're out of power. Look at that. I missed a wire. Basically, all of these I have hooked up to little power switch circuits, and that's supposed to be the only way they get power. If there is a iron axe in logistics, that will close and power everything, and if there's not, well, then everything shuts off. Let's put that back. So actually you can see the power jumps up momentarily as I think it's mostly Roboports recharging. But yeah, now we're up to 2 gigawatts. So you can see here now it's green, which means it's connected. I need to disconnect here, but everything, well, all the things for this 1K science should turn off. We got, oh, you know what? I didn't do this green circuits. I can show you that on camera. So this is missing. I got the red circuits here. I got the blue circuits. That's right. I went right from the red circuits to the actual 1K Science factory itself, right there. Everything else you can see. There's no. I disconnected a wire there, and there was one there, and there was like 1 or 2 here. The battery is up here. So I'd still leave power for some of the roboports and radars as much as possible. This rocket launch facility over here is connected here. I disconnected a wire here and here. So I got to... You're over by Defense 10. Defense 10 used to be near the bottom here, but I've gotten so many things since then. Well... Defense 10. Some of the other things I did is I saw that the biters were encroaching. Actually, I think it was oil 1 over here. And yeah, oil 1 and... Oh yeah. So I put new defensive stations here because either few trains were going here or the ones that were didn't have any artillery on the back. Most of my trains from my main base all have an artillery on the back, but all the trains for these new ones don't. So if you don't know, you can disconnect wires in Factorio. You need a copper wire yourself to do so. So theoretically, like, I could just remove this pole because this goes all the way back here and it gets powered. But the way, if you want to keep the pole there, is you take a copper wire, you click on the one pole, you click on the other pole, and it disconnects. You also can do that to connect 2 poles if they aren't connected, as long as they're within, like, that's too far for this size pole to reach. And you can do the same with the red and green wires. So that's disconnected, and it was the green science over here that I missed. And we'll go to defense 6 and do that. And I'll show you how that circuit works. It's very simple. It doesn't need any of the red or green wires at all. There's defense 6 was. Alright, I'm going to leave the power connection down here. Well, this is where I'm going to put in the switch down here. Maybe right there. Well, alright. So take the wire. Now, this does not actually use any wire, but when you do add a wire that isn't there, then it will use a wire. I'll move you. Come on. Alright, so I'm just going to make a power switch. And stick it down within wiring range. I'll click it, tell it to connect to the logistics network, and enabled if iron axe is greater than 0, so you can see it closed. Now I just take the wire. What happened? Oh, yeah, it used wire. So I will connect that there. You can see that used a wire, and connect that there, and that used a wire. And now I just disconnect this one. And now this whole area is now only getting power through here. And you can see it is green, which means it's connected right now. If I took that axe out of the logistics network, it would then disconnect. That's all there is to it. So that lets me shut off areas of my base. This is kept on. I also did oil over here, but oh, and this rocket. But my initial rocket and this science, or no, I actually did this science area too. You can see it over here. Yeah, just my main base, my initial real rocket facility, and then all the outlying areas remain connected. So that's that. Let's see how this green science is. Green science. Okay, everybody's backed up because Well, there's your problem. You need a chain signal to force these guys not to go to a red signal. But in his case, every signal was red. Since he wants to go here, I have to tell this train to move. And I will let him go out and then tell him to come back. Now our empty trains, or our full trains of material, can get in. And here I was expecting circuits to be ready to load. So we got iron and copper coming in. This is actually probably really Okay, we're down, but that's probably because the smelting systems are not running at this point. And apparently beacons are a constant draw whether they're being used or not. Which is actually kind of expected for the amount of benefit they give. So here we are, filling this train. How much are... Alright, so it's about half filled now. These should load relatively... Well, I would say relatively evenly, but... Oh, yeah, that's right. The bolts are longer, so it takes more time for the material to get up here. So it takes more time for the material to get down, and that's why the front end here is a bit more full than the back by about, I don't know, 700 or so. Looks like we went through already 2 trains of plates. Looks like the 3rd iron train. And copper's already running out, or is there... Well, it looks like there are some belts backwards. I still don't know what causes that, if that's a problem with the blueprint, or that's just a problem with the order that they're placed in, or what exactly. You know, I'm not gonna go to the right spot if I do that. I know what's close. Interesting. It almost did me in. Interestingly, alright, that's good. Let's check the rest of these. I guess this would be good. Wow, how are you empty? So if there's any chests with a few hundred or 1,000 or so, probably means it has a problem. I think all the rest are fine. It was just that one. Unless the iron also has that problem, but the iron isn't used nearly as much as the copper for circuits. I'm gonna say, where is the train? But it just pulled up. Where's the copper trains? Oh, here we go. May need another copper train. Where do you guys go? Why did he stop there? That's supposed to be a different block. You're gonna come down, turn around, and you're gonna go in here, I hope. Are you the... Okay, that was the other copper train. So they're going to these. I guess it's a bit of a long trip, and might actually need another copper train. Well, assumingly this will back up eventually. Alright, you're full. Alright, you're on your way. You got some backed up here now. Yeah, when there's not two lanes, it slows down the production rate, although still seems like it's getting... it's not quite a full blue belt. And you definitely see like this one is leaving gaps. Although, alright, we got another load of copper there. Let me build another train. Let's copy. That was a shift right click on one of the copper locomotives. I should have... Where's my train supplies? Oh, did I... Okay. Usually I have a requester chest. Apparently I picked it up here. Where did... It's gonna take a bit of time. For them to deliver. Oh, this is a bit of a walk as well. Two and 8. Yeah, the iron is doing well enough, even if it takes some time. It's not nearly used as much as the copper for circuit. So, you know, like the fact that there's no train there right now isn't really an issue. But having copper run out at the circuit production, that's an issue, because that slows down production. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we shift left click. You can see the color changed, and it should also get the same stations. 2 more. We'll fill both of these with 2. They could probably survive on 1, but hey, let's give it everything it needs. Set it to automatic, and away it goes. That's probably that's another iron train. So here's the train we just built. There should now be 3 trains set to unload copper there. And he is going to go this way and assumingly go to one of these 2 coppers. They're technically the closest. Yes. Assumingly, if those both are full, a train will come here, but we're not there yet. I'm guessing this is the one we just built. That's another thing I added. We got kind of a deadlock here. We had a train here, a train waiting behind it, and then a long train here, and it blocked these smaller trains from exiting. So now, well, over here it's hard to see, but over here we have chain signal so that the train won't block here. The train that kind of stops over here, its tail goes to about here, blocking or turning this red to prevent another train from actually stopping in the way, so the small trains, or the supplying trains, can get through. So I think we're doing okay at this point. We have, well, not all of them are doing okay, but we have some circuits that are getting backed up, so that, or boxed up, so that when the train pulls in, we can fill it quickly with those. Although it looks like some of the cars aren't quite there yet. But hopefully with the additional train bringing copper, that will all be fixed. Of course, that's under the assumption that our copper smelting is able to keep up. How is that doing? Okay, these are still at 4-ish thousand, which means it's keeping up, at least for now. You can see how quickly we're filling the cars. It should be that, I mean, this should drop a few hundred for each chest, but we should be able to fill them quickly and like between trains. I may have to switch all these over to the other style though, the newer. Yeah, that dropped from 4.1 to 3.8, and the hope is that they'll refill before another train comes back. Yeah, so I may have to switch them all to like this style, which basically has 4 stack inserters per line instead of just 2, 3. Hopefully that was just a temporary thing where a bunch of trains seem to go by at once. That's interesting. Let's this turnaround isn't used that often, but it is used at some point, so let's just make sure that's isolated from... Nobody should go on that line. Anyway, alright. Let me get out of the steel smelter's way, and where should we... Defense 13. I probably have it down here somewhere. I need to clean this up. I really should. There's too many things that I've gone through just to fix an issue, or I had a second line of track that I've just left. That's a single dual-way track, but so far it seems it doesn't get enough traffic to back up at all, so... May have to change it if it becomes an issue, though. Alright, let's send you somewhere where you can actually park and stay out of the way. So we're over here at the... It's supposed to be a 1K Science Factory blueprint. So let's see how it does now that we have... Alright, you're going to get more bricks because you just have one car. You know what, actually let's do that for most of these. Oh, that takes quite a while to clear out. Maybe. Alright, you're pretty good. Those, you know, if you have a few cars empty though, might as well send you to fill up now. You as well. Okay. So this is it. Now we're not going to be just measuring this if we look at production statistics, because I have a whole science over here and science in my main base. But you know, my goal is to be above 1,000. I'm guessing with my before this, I was at like 150-ish, but I'm not entirely sure. I actually didn't measure it. So let's see how we're doing now. I'm going to... Well, this is a decent... I mean, I've seen people have this way higher, and this actually only increases by 100 each time. This I want to eventually build up to... I don't think I need more robot speed. Follower count also only goes up by 100. Like, I have 160 is way more than I needed. I don't really use gun turrets, and the shooting speed is pretty good. Let's do mining productivity. Well, I mean, if I'm right, this will take like less than 4 minutes. So I have a little timer on my screen, and I'm going to start it now. It's actually a timer for how long I've been recording. So let's look at consumption. Well, that's... Can I do... There we go. That's... Here we go. Is it... I didn't know this, but does it actually use less purple science? Well, now purple science shot way up, so. Alright, that said 500, but that's. The graph's only like half full. We've only been going 30 seconds. Going by the 5 second, we can do 1,000. One thing to take a look at. The one problem is going to be getting space science. I actually kind of expected. Okay, looking down in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see we have 4.4 thousand space science. Now it's 4.3. As soon as that hits 4.0, we're gonna have 3 rockets launch. Now we have enough to complete this research. The question is, and I don't think we'll be able to, in the long run, keep that above 4,000. You know, the rockets are all set to launch when that drops below 4,000. I don't quite think we have the rocket launch capability. Now, 1K science does also mean rockets should be launching now. Why aren't you launching? Okay, there it goes. It's actually at 4,000. It's this activates and puts the satellite in, and once the satellite is in, it launches. So we should get 3 rocket launches up. That should go to 370. There's one. Where am I? I missed. There was one here, and then there was one here. Yeah, 370. Let's pull up production. There's our missing color. Red, green, blue, yellow. I thought there was 7. I'm missing military, which probably isn't being used right now at all. We'll have to do one that uses military. And they're all 1.3. So I don't know if that means those all. Let's do the next one now that we're still at it. 3,600 now. Don't need 10 minutes, but you can see it dropped off there. We're now back over. Oh, 1.0 per minute. 1.0 thousand. You see rocket parts 73, 74, 77, 78, 80. And the question is, alright, we are still at 5.5 thousand. So the question is, are we actually keeping up with production? Are those belts full here? And let's... green has fallen... Well... No, they're all... Once they're actually here, they're all spaced out. Which, I mean... I guess these belts here and here should be full. I may need... some more... 2 more chests and 2 more fast inserters. But like this line isn't moving, which means there's enough coming in the other line. At least that's how I read it. I don't know how many... Well, I could find out how many labs that is. That looks to be 60 labs, and they're all beaconed to heck. Let's pull up the graph again. Well, that's instantaneous, but no. 1.2 to 1.3. That's going well. I'm guessing the variability is, here's my original science. What is it? I think it's like 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's 20 labs. No beacons. Half of it's running off of normal inserters. Speaking of, 4.2 gigawatts. Look at that. Alright, let's look at the rest. So then I built this science off of a blueprint. This is supposed to be 45 science a minute, although I made a few tweaks. Though I'm not sure that would have brought it to like 50. I did put in some more labs, so maybe it is. I think I added 4 more labs, so maybe it is 50 or slightly above that. And then this one has 2 of those. So we got one here, and then one over here, and this is with the tweaks I added. So that's why I said I was about 150. This is, say 50, 100, 150, and then I guess a little more than that for my initial. And now this. So power. This is going full steam ahead. No pun intended. Well, some pun intended. But this, as far as my testing says, only does 4.1 flat out. You can see the steam over here is way down. It tries to keep 16,000 per tank. Now, of going flat out, these tanks will fully empty, but this will keep throwing in fuel constantly. It won't take a break. In fact, we got about 20 seconds or so before. I'm also noticing my UPS are way down. So, if you're timing this, I did notice the arms seem to be moving slowly. It looks like we've launched another 3 rockets. Alright, this is about, well, it would be 10 seconds once this blue light turns on. This should refuel. There it goes. So I'm wondering if one of these, it would be you. Yeah, this seems to be kicking on and off as the power fluctuates. I bet my accumulators Yeah. So how are things going train-wise? We have a train filling here and a train waiting. This iron is getting a train. This copper doesn't have one, but this one does. And how about the iron ones? You're good, and you're good. We've got a little bit of a train back up here. We're okay on steel. No, here. Well, no. Okay, you're not coming. We got a train filling with circuits here. Where are you going? You're for blue circuits. Blue circuits are filling. Red circuits are backed up. This green circuit is filling. And we got trains all waiting here. And I gotta say, we got 2 iron, bricks, steel, a copper, red circuits, no green circuits. So I'm assuming train went over to pick up green circuits. And yeah, I'm gonna do one more round of that. Okay, this guy, 74, so we had a rocket go off out of order. Not out of order, but this one can launch much quicker because we have 2 supply areas for it. Basically, it's getting twice the materials as the other 2 rockets, so that means this one and the other one, which are basically identical. Actually, they are identical because I took a blueprint of this one to make this one. You're at 68 rocket parts. You're at 68 rocket parts. Yeah, and you can see we are 3.1 thousand space science. So yes, we are not keeping up with the space science. Let's go back to our productivity graph and turn shift, right? Control. Stop moving around so much. Red, green. You're purple. You're no, not you. Well, space science is gonna look weird compared to the others. And blue. Yeah, so we get a huge influx of space science. Ah, but only... I think one of the other 2 launched now. Or... this one launched again. It's a little bit crazy to see how quickly this is sucking down materials. It's the the rocket control units that are the real bottleneck. I'll have to see. I wonder if I can stick on another 4 or so on each of these and speed that up. Or, because it looks like we're close on speed modules, that we're producing them only about as quickly as these are using them. So maybe 2 more on each, and then we'll be... Actually, no, here, blue circuits. I thought it was... Oh, I bet the satellite uses blue circuits as well, so that's why this one's low on blue circuits. So maybe I could put a few extra here, and that would help speed things along a little bit. How are we doing on... it's behind the UI, but it looks like it's down in the 2000s at this point. Yeah, so we seem to be producing them about as quickly as we're using them, except for space science. Where did that get? That's probably off the... and we haven't tried... military yet. Actually, that's quite a bit better. I should have walked away from there a while ago. Train-wise, we're doing okay. This needs to be 2 lines instead of just 1. Alright, let's try one thing that needs military. You need military. And while I did say we don't really need more, so now we have all of them. Consumption. Where is military? May take a minute to get on the graph. Why is this a whole lot higher now? It's one of everything. That's 30 seconds. Were you... Ah, you were only every 60 seconds. So this is actually theoretically using it at double the rate. Well, let's leave it at 5 seconds. What is the rate? We're doing 2,000 a second, but we're only producing about 1.2, 1.3. And there's, if it would stop jumping around, there's the military as well. So we're producing the military just as good as the others. But it's really the space science that, yeah. So that's, I'm gonna have to blueprint this and stick it down, and that should then get us to the rate we need. I hope. The big problem is going to be the updates per second. As you can see, actually, we're like totally out right now. Alright, consumption rate is gone, so we're not using any. Production rate is still up there. But our rockets can't quite keep up. Alright, this one just launched. You can see still. I might also need to put in some more robo ports over here. So the robots aren't running out of power. Alright, once they're over here, well, it looks like they're crossing here in the middle. I don't see any slow ones, so they're... Well, they're getting over here and then deciding to come over. That's okay. It might be better to put the science on a train, even if it's a small one, rather than having the robots bring it over. This path here, you can see, yeah, it's meant for the robots. A few episodes ago, or after a few episodes ago. And we got plenty of charging over here. So that's this test. It's mostly successful in that it showed that we can produce most of the types of science packs at over 1,000 per minute. Reaching close, actually, almost 1.5. It's 1.34, depending. Except for the space science. But I think I have a solution for that. You know, make another one of these. Although this sucks up more iron. Hey! Or not hey, but... Well, there it is. Got a deadlock. So, definitely, you should be... Yeah, see, you're going around. Even though you want to go that way, it's blocked at the moment. This should not be a deadlock. You should go, then one of you should clear. Except you decide to come along. Alright, now one of you... Yeah, there we go. So, a bit of a bottleneck here. Definitely, I think this is a deadlock over here. This train wants to go this way, but he can't because this train is stopped. This train is stopped because this train is stopped. And this train is stopped because this train is stopped because this train is stopped. That's it. We're back to the train we started off with. That's definitely a deadlock. Problem is, this train is long enough to block this intersection, which basically means they can't be allowed to stop here. Which, this is probably this type of signal here. So the fix is to change this to a chain signal so that there should be a chain signal here as well, so that the train will stop here and only go through this intersection once they can clear all these and clear past here. This actually really shouldn't be here either. Not that that would really help things, but there. If a longer train stopped here and even here, they're still going to be blocking this intersection, which is bad. So, I have some things to fix and improve. Maybe next time we might actually have a fully working 1K science per minute base. And even if we do, I have some other ideas of interesting things to do with a Megabase, because this is the first time I really went big. I've launched rockets before, even a few, maybe up to 10, but then I've usually gotten tired, and this time I've decided to push it big. Hopefully the other ideas I have actually won't be affecting updates per second as significantly as this have. At least one of the other ideas shouldn't involve much of what we have running right now. One of the other ideas may have some of this mega part of this Megabase running, but not all of it. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.